Hello everyone, my name is Lionel Kwanga and I want to welcome you all to this series of Azure 80 interview questions and answers. We should all note that these answers are from my personal experience, so feel free to fine-tune them how you want. Question. Can you describe your experience with Azure Active Directory? Yes, thank you for the question. I have hands-on experience in managing Azure Active Directory in enterprise environments, including authentication methods such as password hash synchronization, pass-through authentication, and Active Directory Federation services. I have implemented conditional access policies to enforce security requirements like multi-factor authentication for first risk login. Additionally, I have deployed passwordless authentication methods such as FIDO2 keys and Microsoft Authentication app to improve both security and user experience. I've also configured application integrations using SAML, OpenID Connect, and OAuth for seamless single sign-on, and worked on identity governance, access reviews, and entitlement management. Question number 2. How does Azure Active Directory Privilege Identity Management improve security? Azure Active Directory Privilege Identity Management enhances security by enforcing just-in-time privileged access, reducing standing admin rights. I've configured approval workflows, MFA enforcement during role activations, and set time-bound role assignments to minimize risk of misuse. Administrators must generally provide justification when activating roles, which adds an accountability layer. Question number 3. Have you worked with Azure Active Directory Business to Customer? And if so, what was the project? Yes, I have implemented Azure Active Directory Business to Customer for a banking client facing customer portal. The goal was to provide secure and seamless access for millions of customers. I therefore configured custom sign-up and sign-in user flows integrated with identity providers such as Google and Microsoft. I also enforced MFA for high-risk transactions. And I also created custom policies for different customer segments and enabled single sign-on across multiple financial apps. Can you explain the difference between OpenID Connect, OAuth, and SAML and when you use each of them? Yes, OpenID Connect primarily for authorization, where users grant access to resources without sharing passwords. OpenID Connect builds on OAuth to provide authentication, returning user claims in tokens. SAML is widely used for enterprise single sign-on in older systems. In practice, I recommend using SAML for legacy enterprise apps, OAuth for delegated access, and OpenID Connect for modern applications, especially mobile and web applications. You apply role-based access control in Azure while ensuring least privilege. I design role assignments at the lowest possible scope to follow the principle of least privilege. Instead of assigning roles to individuals, I use security groups or service principals. I also ensure segregation of duties by avoiding role overlap and requiring access reviews for critical roles. How have you used PowerShell or command line interface for Azure AD automation? Yes, I have automated user lifecycle tasks such as onboarding and offboarding using PowerShell scripts and Azure command line interface. For example, new hires are automatically provisioned with accounts, licensing, and security group memberships, while departing employees, on the other hand, have accounts disabled and access revoked. I also scripted reports on conditional access policies, MFA enforcement, and privileged identity management role activations. I also created run books to handle repetitive compliance tasks, such as exporting user sign-in logs. Question: how would you automate user lifecycle management in Azure AD? Yes, I would recommend integrating the organization's human resource system with Azure AD to serve as the source of truth for user accounts. When this is done, onboarding is automated to provision accounts, assign groups, licenses, and MFA registration requirements. For offboarding, accounts are automatically disabled, licenses revoked, and data transferred according to retention policies. This process also includes removing privileged identity management role eligibility. Question: what cloud security principles do you follow when managing IAM? I follow the zero trust approach, where every access request must be authenticated, authorized, and continuously validated. We will also make sure to encrypt sensitive data at rest and in transit, and apply data loss prevention policies. Compliance with GDPR, HIPAA, and PCI DSS is ensured through audit logging and access governance. I also implement incident response policies specifically for identity-related breaches. Question: what are identity and access management best policies or practices you apply at work? Answer: some best practices I apply include MFA enforcement across all accounts. I also use conditional access for context-based restrictions, and also apply the principle of least privilege with just-in-time access. I do implement role-based access control with segregation of duties. I automate lifecycle management and conduct regular access reviews. I also apply password-less authentication where possible. I do make sure external access is tightly controlled with guest policies and employee awareness training conducted to reduce insider risk. How do you collaborate with other teams in IAM projects? I collaborate with developers to ensure APIs are securely integrated with OAuth and OpenID Connect. For operations, I focus on system stability and monitoring. With compliance teams, I translate technical IAM controls into regulatory language for audits. I also engage early in project planning to align requirements and prevent security gaps. I facilitate the sharing of documentation as well. Are you interested in this IAM role in financial services? Answer: I am highly interested because the role aligns with my IAM expertise. And financial services require strong identity security due to regulatory and customer trust factors. I enjoy working in high security environments where IAM is a critical enabler for business operations. Question: which certifications do you hold that are relevant to this role? I hold the Azure Security Engineer Associate certification, which covers identity and access management, privileged identity management, MFA, and role-based access control. I also have practical experience with Microsoft Sentinel and Azure Policy, which are critical for securing identities and workflow. My certifications validate my ability to implement secure access solutions and enforce compliance and monitor threats. Combined with my hands-on expertise, this ensures I can deliver value from day one in this IAM role. That's it for this series. If you want me to continue and make other videos, say it down in the comments. Thank you.